Okay, so sometimes we need to get kind of a hard edge to stuff. So these are a few examples of a kind of a Lego head. The first one is just without any kind of editing, it's just the basic shape. And to get it smooth, we add the subsurf modifier. And by going to here and adding subdivision surface, we can change your views to 2. And then the shading to smooth. If you don't have this up here, you can press T and that will bring up the transform settings, and we can press smooth. But this kind of adds a curve between the edges, so between like this edge and this edge, it adds a kind of curve to it, so it makes it really smooth, and that's not always how we want the result to be. So what we need to do is you can either add in loop cuts, or you can use the Mean Crease, or you can use both. And I find using both probably the best method. But I'll show you. Just using loop cuts gives you a result like this, which is quite nice. And just using the Mean Crease gives you a view like this one, which isn't as smooth as this. But using both of them looks a lot better. So I'll show you how to do both. So we'll go back to our little example here. Tab into edit mode, and we're going to get the. First of all, we'll add the loop cuts. No, first of all, I'll show you the Mean Crease. So you can select either edge tool, edge select, or vertex select. Press Alt and right click to select the edge we want, and then you can press N to bring up the settings here. I think it's just called, I don't know why it's N actually, I don't know what N stands for. And over here we'll see Mean Crease, so we can basically put a crease in. If you imagine a piece of paper and you put a crease in, it's going to do exactly that sort of thing. So we press, click here and type 1, and it gives you this nice pink line around it, and that's now giving you an edge, which you can't really see too much until you start adding more edges in. So there is a loop around here, but we can't see it because of the subsurf. So we can either turn it off for now to see the edge, or we can press Z so we can see through wireframe. I'll probably just turn this off for a second. So we'll alt click that, press Alt and right click to select all that, and we'll change the Mean Crease again to 1. And now there's a crease between there and there, so we should get much nicer, sort of flatter look to it. And basically then you just go around all the places that you think need a crease. If you do this though, selecting 2 loops, you kind of get all the faces as well, and sometimes you don't want the faces, you just want the edges, so it's best probably to do edges in like separately. So that edge, type in 1, and the next edge, and so on. So eventually when you've done all of that, I mean it looks okay, but it still doesn't look amazing. So once you're in that position where you've done all your edge loops, you will end up with this one here. So this is just edge loops. Sorry, not edge loops. This is just Mean Creasing. And if we now add in edge loops, we'll get a much nicer finish. So press Control R and left click, and then just drag it up to the top of this point here. And we'll do some more here and bring it in. And then if you tab out, you'll see that edge is really nice now. And add another one, drag this down. So you need one before the crease and one after, and it'll just make the model look a lot neater. But sometimes you might find that you only need an edge loop, or you only need the Mean Crease. You don't always have to do this, but it just, a lot of the time, it does make it look a lot nicer. Oops. And then you just continue to do that over the whole of the model, wherever you need them. We'll just add some in here. and you can see that looks a lot better. So there we go. That is mean creasing. If you wanted to kind of not have such a hard edge, you could change it to maybe like 0.5 or something, or however you need it. It just depends on the model you got. Sometimes it is nice to have a really hard edge around it, but it works just as well like that, really. So yeah, that is mean creasing.